My name is Bella Davis. I'm a sophomore at Tumwater High School, and when Jared asked me to do this devotion, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to talk about or even what passage I wanted to go through, but I was reading through James one day, and a song came on while I was reading through, and funnily enough, it's not what James was saying. It was the song that really spoke to me in that moment. It was a song by Mumford and Sons, which isn't a worship song, but there was just one verse that really stuck out. And eventually it led me to reading Psalms 31. And I'm just going to read the second half for you, because that's really what I want to focus on. But I trust in you, Lord. I say, you are my God. The course of my life is in your power. Rescue me from the power of my enemies and from my persecutors. Make your face shine on your servant. Save me by your faithful love. Lord, do not let me be disgraced when I call on you. Let the wicked be disgraced. Let them be quiet and show. Let lying lips arrogantly speak against the righteous, and proud contempt and be silenced. How great is your goodness that you have stored up for those who fear you, and accomplished in the sight of everyone for those who take refuge in you. You hide them in the protection of your presence. You conceal them in a shelter from human schemes, from quarrelsome tongues. Blessed be the Lord, for he wondrously shown his faithful love to me in a city under siege. In my alarm I said, I am cut off from your sight, but you heard the sound of my pleading when I cried to you for help. Love the Lord, all his faithful ones. The Lord protects the loyal, but fully repays the arrogant. Be strong and let your heart be courageous, all of you who put your hope in the Lord. During this time, David was on the run for his life. He was scared and really stressed out, as you can imagine. Like, I'm just trying to picture being on the run for my life from someone who I know. Most likely this was either Saul or David's son, who was trying to kill him, and I couldn't even imagine how stressed I'd be out. But nevertheless, David finds hope in trusting in God and remembering his character when his life seems so dimmed by all the bad things that were going on. We are living in a crazy time right now. It's not quite on the same page of what David was going through, but what we're going through still harbors a lot of fear for a lot of us. And it's really dangerous to walk out and live in that fear. So I'm just going to read you the verse that stuck out to me from the song, because I think it kind of ties into what I'm trying to say. So Mumford and Sons say, so come out of your cave walking on your hands and see the world hanging upside down. Okay, so that's the first part of that verse, but I think that's what we're living in when we live in fear. We're looking at the world and it's distorted, and it's not how God sees it. It's us focusing in on the sin and the destruction and forgetting that God has a plan and he's faithful and he redeems. And then the second part of that verse says, you can understand dependence when you know the Maker's heart. Dependence ties hand in hand with trust. Trusting in God, having dependence on God during this time is essential for us. Otherwise, we're going to be harboring this fear, and it's going to weigh down on us. And it's not a good way to live. It's not healthy. It's not the way God wants us to live. But we know the Maker's heart. We can open our Bible and we can read through it and see how God is faithful, how God is loving, that God is steadfast in his promises, that he's not going to just give up on us. So I have a couple challenges for you this week. I want you to write down your fears. What are you scared about? And it doesn't essentially have to tie in with what's going on in the world right now. Like basic fears, like you're scared you're going to get the virus. You're scared that someone you love is going to get sick. You're scared that you're going to run out of food. You're going to run out of toilet paper. Write them all down. Then, right next to that or right below that, I just want you to write down ways God has shown his faithfulness in your own life, ways you can see it in the Bible, like ways you can see it in someone you love's life. Like, just write it down any way that you can see it. And then I want you to pray through your fears and just take them to God, because that's what we need to do. We can't harbor them. We have to take them to God. And then I want you to thank God for his faithfulness. And I want you to ask for focus on him and dependence on him, and just really focus in on that God has planned and that he's faithful, and try and focus on dependence on him this week.